Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats, pull up your boots, and check your spurs at the door. Because we're about to introduce you to an undeniable talent who's been blazing trails and defining the Australian country music scene for decades. Christine is more than just an award-winning artist. She's a living testament to the kind of grit, passion, and sheer determination that could turn a tumbleweed into a tornado. From the moment she first set foot on a stage in South Australia, Christine's voice has been like a summer storm, powerful, captivating, and impossible to ignore. Her incredible journey started in local talent quests, where she quickly proved that she wasn't just here to play, she was here to stay, she was here to win. And win she did, earning accolades and stealing hearts faster than a rodeo rider chasing the next big buckle. Her debut album, All Through the Night, didn't just mark the start of Christine's career. It ignited a musical odyssey that would see her blossom into a true powerhouse of the country music scene. With every note she sings and every lyric she pens, Christine breathes new life into the timeless influences like The Seekers, Lionel Ronstadt, and Chris Stapleton. Yet her sound is unmistakably her own, rich, soulful, and deeply authentic. It's the kind of music that grabs you by the heartstrings and doesn't let go. A perfect blend of classic country soul and a fresh, fearless spirit. Her musical achievements are nothing short of extraordinary. She's not only claimed victories in prestigious categories like female vocal, duet, and gospel at the South Australian Country Music Awards, has also shared the stage with icons like Gina Jeffries and Be Cole. Her performances have lit up venues from the grandiose stages of the town hall to vast expanses of the Santos gas fields, each time leaving audiences spellbound. And just when you think she couldn't possibly soar any higher, she releases her latest album, She's Playing with Fire. The title track, co-written with David Carter, had garnered international recognition, propelling her to a global spotlight as a finalist in the International Singer-Songwriter Awards. She's poised to take her place among the world's most celebrated songwriters. But she's not just an artist. She's a storyteller, a truth seeker, and a beacon of authenticity. Her music resonates with raw, heartfelt stories of life's joys and challenges, and her performances are nothing short of mesmerizing. Now, whether she's on stage at festivals for thousands or in a cozy cafe, she always delivers an experience that's unforgettable. Before we sit back, kick up our heels with our favorite glass of clear, please join me in welcoming the inspiring, the unstoppable, the amazing country voice of soulful, gripping Christine Clifford. Christine, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Chris. How are you today?
Fabulous. I couldn't picture a better day for me, to be honest with you. And yourself?
Oh, I'm absolutely fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoying my coffee.
Absolutely so. The slight time difference, but
I'm in the evening, of course, and you're in the morning. So, yeah, same day though, which is really nice for a change.
Christine, I want to dive into this with you here. You've been
Sure.
defining, you've been defining a defining force in Australian country music for decades. What drew you to country music? Why not pop, rock, metal, anything but country? Why country?
I think it's the storytelling that gets me. It also suits my vocal ability as well. However, I actually do some rock as well. So yeah, I also have a band in South Australia that we do pub rock and just classic pub rock and just yeah, head banging out, and it's really good. But it's nice to do that for a change. But my passion is definitely country. It always has been, right from when I started writing. So yeah,
Okay, so
a late bloomer though, a late bloomer. So
I'm gonna step back here for a second. You said pub rock.
pub rock.
So we know you as the phenomenal country singer with the soulful storytellings, and when you're not performing country songs, you're out, in the evening performing pub rock.
Yep. Why not?
Listen, 100%.
Yeah, because I love to perform and I love to sing and I love playing with my band. So and when you're looking at us, um, people that want to go out and have a good time, it's at the pub. It's at the hotel. So they're going to they have a few drinks. They want to hear some good, heavy pub rock. And, I do everything from Blondie to Divinals to, whatever. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. It's the, your passion is country music with the storytelling and that ability.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's going to be my creative outlet. Let's go to the pub, grab a couple of pints, and just rock out to some Blondie.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I think that's the beauty about music. You can no matter what you do, as long as you're pleasing the audience, and that because they're the ones that keep you coming back. You keep me wanting to come back because I enjoy watching them enjoy what I do. So yes, absolutely, I love watching them listen to my original songs and play some country and all that, and I really, really enjoy it, and that's where it gets me right in the heart. But when it comes to just getting out there and giving it all, love a bit of pub rock. So yeah, it's good.
Now, have you written any of your own pub rock songs?
Well, actually, one of the songs, actually both of us, She's Playing with Fire, um, the title track of my last album. We do that in the band, uh, in the pubs, and I think it got me. I had these young girls standing at the front of the stage singing the words to She's Playing with Fire, and they're in their 18, 19-year-olds, and I'm going, wow, that is just awesome. That blew me away. So, and Telling Me Lies is another one that was on that album as well. So that's pretty rocky song as well.
It's like you're covering
So
your own music.
it is. Why not? You do what it takes.
It's 100%. Now, you'd said that you play with your band or your bandmates. Now, are these the same bandmates that you do country with as well as pub rock, or or is it different?
Most of my country gigs are solo. So if I need to do a bigger gig, I'll get some session musos in to do some country stuff. However, the guys in my band are rock musicians, so they like to play they're not into country. So yes, they bear with me. At times they bear with me in my passion. I might say, okay, let's do some Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings, and they'll go, really? Yes, why not?
What else are we
And
doing?
we do, yeah, we do. But if I'm to do a show solely country, I get session musos in, or I will actually do my own solo stuff, just acoustic and guitar. So
Now, you're saying session players, and for us who aren't in the music industry or aren't familiar with that term, what is a session player?
it's a session player is somebody who would go into a studio and just pick up, read the charts, whether they be number charts or bar charts or chord charts, and they would just play. And they're so proficient at playing. You can tell them to change it down a key or up a key or whatever, and they'll just do it like that. That they're so used to being in a studio, they'll just play
Hmm.
easy. My husband's a drummer, and he's so proficient at drumming. He can do exactly that as well. He's also a sound engineer, but yeah, who has produced my album as well. So yeah, I'm very lucky.
Now, I want to go back to the early years with you, Christine. If you couldn't have the fame and the success that you have as a country singer, or even as the pub rocker that you are, what do you think you'd be doing?
Probably still hairdressing. Yeah,
Okay.
hairdresser by trade.
Yeah.
Um, I then changed my career when I was, I'm not going to say how old. Um, I changed my career overnight and decided to do something completely different, and became a human resources advisor.
Oh,
So
nice.
I studied for about 6 years, whilst managing service stations and things like that, and I became a human resources advisor, and that's what I do now. Even I'm out, I work in the mines. I'm in HR in the mines, and I look after about 100 people.
Wow. So
So that's my day job.
HR and country singer and pub rocker. All right.
Yeah. Keeps you busy.
And let's go back to the early days of Christine. You stepped up onto that stage in South Australia. You knew these talent quests. At what point were you like, you know what, I just got to get up on that stage? What was that driving force or influence to be little Christine? Just get up there already.
Yeah. Look, I my first ever performance in front of people was actually auditioning for a part in Carousel, in the musical Carousel, and I did that. I got the leading role, which was fantastic at the time. And then I thought, oh, look, I used to play guitar. I learned piano from, did all my wonderful pianoforte exams and that as a child and all that sort of stuff. I picked up a guitar. I thought I'll start to learn to play guitar. So I taught myself guitar. Um, and yeah, from there, I just started writing and thought I need to get out there. And then somebody said, "Oh, why don't you? There's a talent quest happening in Keith. Why don't you go and have a go?" So I did, and I had a go, and I played, and I won. I thought, okay, this is all right. This is okay. Um, let's have a look. Where are the rest of the talent quests around South Australia? So that's what I did, and it wasn't necessarily to win. It was actually to get recognised. So, it was the accolades of winning, it was great,
Mm.
but it was to get recognised and to meet like-minded people to learn from. And I think that's, I learned from so many fantastic musicians during that early time, that gave me a really good grounding of where I am now. So, and I think that's the secret, for anyone starting in music, is to learn and listen to people that have been there and done it, because yeah, they know what they're on about. They've been there. They understand the industry. The industry's very different to just going out to having a normal regular job. It's a very different industry. So understanding the industry, understanding the musicians, what you know, what the sort of structure is around payments and all that sort of stuff for gigs, and that is really, really important. And just getting as much information as you can and learning and developing your own style.
Now you keep saying like, learning the industry. So when we look
Yep.
at your journey, what are some of the challenges that you can share with us that you were surprised to learn about in this industry?
Um, Look, I think I think the knockbacks are the hard thing. You get knocked down a lot, and that's the hardest thing with music. You want to get a gig here, you really want to play there, but no, you can't seem to get in there for some reason. They don't think that you're suitable, or you go and audition for a band and they don't think you're good enough, or there are knockbacks all over the place. But you just got to keep pushing through, and I think that's the hard part, and that's why so many people just end up falling off the wayside. So many talented people
Right.
don't push through enough, to get where they need to be. So look, and to be honest with you, I actually got fed up with the whole music industry for a little bit, and had a 15-year break. And then and naturally had family and all that sort of thing as well. But I thought, "Oh, I need a break from this," because it was getting to me, and it I wasn't. How can I put it? I wasn't as engaged as I should have been. And so I decided to give it a break. My husband and I both gave it a break, so he got annoyed with the whole thing as well. Then we moved back to the country, and I think that's what happened. I think moving to the country made a big difference to us, in our lives, and Greg bought a drum kit, and I bought another guitar, and because we'd sold everything totally.
Oh, wow.
We'd finished. That was it. We weren't doing this anymore. And so, yeah, and now we're in it, but we have a completely different attitude to how we approach things, how, and the understanding of, yeah, I'm not going to be the next Taylor Swift,
Mhm.
right? I don't believe, I'm too old to be the next Taylor Swift. Okay, so I want to be someone that I'm just enjoying my music, and if anyone else is enjoying it, that makes me happy. And I think that's where we both got to now, and we just enjoy what we do.
Do you believe
So,
that this new approach of, I'm here to enjoy my music, I'm here for a good time attitude, and just this clarity has, elevated your writing and elevated your passion and soulfulness with your music?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I I decided, well, I had the opportunity to go to a songwriting retreat, which was, you know, great. I thought, oh, I said to Greg, my husband, I said, I think I need to go there. I said, I want to start writing again. He said, why not? I said, so I took off, and it was freezing cold. Probably not as cold as what it is in Toronto at times, but it was almost snowing in Melbourne at the time, and I drove there and had the best time for the weekend with a good 8 um, professional writers in Australia, which are fantastic, and also other like-minded musicians that were learning as well. And just we would have songwriting workshops and understanding of the industry, understanding how to put your music out there, which was great. Because there wasn't all when I first started, there wasn't the Spotifys, there wasn't all of that back then. So you didn't know how to get your music out there. It was just a CD, and you sold them at festivals. That was it back then. Try to get it on radio airplay, that wouldn't happen. So very, very different. So now, I learned all of that while I was there, also collaborating with David and Marilyn Carter and their granddaughter, and also with uh, a couple of other fantastic musos. And I've got another song coming out at the end of the year, which was another collaboration from that particular time as well that we've just decided to put out. But it just inspired me to start writing again. It really did. And so, yeah, I'm writing and it feels good. And my latest song, Born in the Country, I wrote in 10 minutes. But then I've written lyrics like you wouldn't believe, but I can't find a melody for, so that might take a long time. But sometimes it comes like that, and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, but
And when we
yeah.
talk about your writing, your music has actually been described as a blend of classic country soul with a fresh, fearless spirit. Is there a song that still holds a special place in your heart today?
In the way of my writing,
Yeah.
yeah, probably The Windmill.
Hmm.
That was the first song I ever wrote, believe it or not, and I've only just, well, it was never released properly when I first wrote it in 1996. And I released it in February, and now it's number 1 in New York at the moment, so yeah, I know. I nearly fell on the floor. So
Now, when we talk about this evolution of your music and your writing and going to the songwriting and coming back, your debut album, All Through the Night, marked the beginning of an incredible journey. When we look back and we look at the evolution as you as an artist, can you look back and say, oh, wow, that was a mistake, or wow, that was really good? Are there moments that you would look back and just say, no, I really need to change this? Or are there things that you're just like, you know what, I'm really happy with this entire journey, with the exception of the 14-year gap where you hung up the guitar? If we took that out.
if you took that out, yeah. Oh, look, I think everything I did was a journey. So everything I learned from, I actually really loved some of the talent quests I did back then. I did one of the duets I did, and Alison and I won that duet. Would you believe? And that was the South Australian Country Music Awards. So that was actually quite a big thing. So we entered the duo, and I called her and I said, "Do you want to do a duo?" She said, "Yeah, why not?" And she lives in Whyalla, which is about 500 k's away from me. And yeah, why not? So we picked a song and we rehearsed it over the phone, and we had one quick rehearsal before we did it on stage, and we won. And we both fell on the floor and thought, "Oh, that's incredible! That was so much fun."
Hey, let's
So yeah.
let's just go win. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we did, and I think that was a good part of competition. I mean, as I said, competition to me was not about winning, it was about actually collaborating and meeting people and getting my sound out there. But, it's always a bonus when you win something. Yeah,
So talk to me
always.
about these competitions as we're referring them. Do you feel that those are incredibly important for musicians to say, hey, yes, you got to get the word out there. Yes, you got to go brand yourself and make sure people know you're there. But is it outside of that? Is it important to do competitions? Why not just go write an EP and start selling CDs on the corner?
Very different now. That's what I say. It's very different now. The competitions these days are Australian Idol, The Voice, all of those types of competitions on TV, whatever. The small competitions that I was in don't seem to happen anymore.
Hmm.
I was even judging, competitions back then as well. So they don't tend to happen so much anymore, unfortunately, because I thought that actually gave young people a platform to start from and to get some match practice or some experience working with a band, using a microphone, having some microphone technique, having an audience in front of you instead of just mum and dad. That was really, really important, I thought. And now you don't have a lot of that anymore. They seem to have all gone by the wayside because you've got the Australian Idol or the American Idol or whatever. I don't know whether they have Canadian Idol, but all of those sort of TV programs, and they just get up and have a go. It's very different. I think, and to be honest with you, I don't know whether I'm going to produce another CD album because you don't sell them anymore
Mhm.
unless you go to a festival, which is quite rare now. You tend to do your small gigs, but there's not a lot of festivals out there either in Australia. So and they're closing more and more. So having a CD to sell, I think, you know, you're spending a lot of money on a product, which, you may not reap any benefits out of, like as far as monetary benefits.
Mhm.
Um, However, when you look at your digital stuff, you don't reap a lot of money benefits out of that either. So, you know, you've got to weigh up the situation and where you think you should be. So
So it's
it's a
kind of like
personal
a
choice.
sweat equity, right? It's you do it because you love it. You're not doing it because you're going to hit overnight success. We love this. This is our passion, and therefore
Yep.
that's where I'm going to go. So,
Yeah.
and it's neat when you talk about these festivals closing and you talk about, smaller opportunities or less opportunities. And in my mind, the only thing I can think of is like, a small fall fair or county fair that might pop up where you might be paying them to play one song.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it's like now, unfortunately. It's actually sad to see the way that it's going, and I'm not sure why it's doing that, whether it's because of the digital age or what, but, there's a lot of success through TikTok. I'm not on TikTok personally, but maybe I should be. But I'm always scared of these things with scams and things. But you know, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I've got a young girl here in Australia. I'm also an ISSA rep now for Australia, but there's a young girl here, Bailey Perry, and you've probably heard of Bailey, who is in WA, and she's a great artist. And she started country, but she's more pop now. She does a lot of TikTok stuff, and she gets so many views, and she's starting to get a following through TikTok. No problem at all. But is that the way you want to go? I don't know. For me, it's not, but I think it's a personal choice.
I see the struggle with it where here's this social media aspect where you need it, but do you really need it? And is TikTok or Instagram or whatever, MySpace to date my age, is it something that you still need? It's really neat because a lot of the younger people say, well, geez, you don't have TikTok time. And it's, well, by the time you look at your partner, your household, your day job, how much time do you really have for TikTok? Now, if you're younger and you had some time, sure. But well, it's really great that she's finding success and a following with that. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
struggle, uphill battle for sure. But you had mentioned that you may or may not be releasing another album, but your latest album, She's Playing with Fire, it's out there right now. Can you share us what was the driving force behind creating these songs to create an album? And, what was the most magical moment for you?
I think collaboration with the other musos that I wrote with, I think that's probably that was the driving force with putting the album together. And then I chose some covers that I wanted to go on the album as well. So, one in particular that I think stands out in that album that for me and maybe for a few others as well is Turn the Page, Bob Seger, Turn the Page. My husband produced that. He came up with the whole idea of the orchestra and all that sort of to start with, and it's absolutely amazing. I just love that track, and yeah, it's funny when you say I don't like listening to myself. It's I know that sounds weird, but I don't like actually listening to myself and my I very rarely now listen to the album because that's just what I do. But if I'm gonna listen to a track, I would actually listen to that track because I love that track. I think that's probably one of the best on the album. I love She's Playing with Fire. I think that's a great song too. I think structurally it's a fantastic song. It's had a lot of airplay and it's doing really, really well. Um, the other song that I wrote on that album was Walking on the Blind Side of Life, and that's all about my husband, who is actually totally blind.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so I wrote that about him, and as I said, he's a drummer and a sound engineer and all of that wonderful stuff. Nothing stops him, but and that's why I wrote that song. So yeah, so they're the three on the album that I actually really, really love. So.
And all these three are available on the social media platforms like Spotify. They're up on YouTube and everything else.
Well, they're on iTunes, they're on Apple Music, they're on everything. And if anybody wants I do still have hard copies of that album. So if anybody would like one, I'm happy to post them over one. Yeah, absolutely, no problem at all. But yeah, probably easier to just buy it on iTunes. So or Spotify or something like that. Deezer, whatever.
And Christine, where can people learn more about you?
Okay, my website is christinecliffordmusic.com and my Facebook page is Chris Clifford Music, Chris Clifford Music on my Facebook page. So yeah, and Spotify and everywhere else on any digital platform I am at the moment. So yeah.
And I want to ask you, when you get the call that says, "Hey, you've booked the gig, you've booked the spot," would you prefer to perform, let's say, in a cozy cafe with, let's say there's 20 or 30 people, where you just have a different intimate connection with your audience, or, in a giant festival for thousands upon thousands of people?
Doesn't matter.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. no matter what size audience you have, you still perform at your best. You make sure that you're professional and you perform at your absolute best no matter what. I do like the intimacy because I like to feed off an audience, but it doesn't matter. I enjoy both. Yeah.
Now, something that I found interesting about you, and it may just be a rumor, and you could address this for us. But during the pandemic, you organized jam sessions to support local musicians. What
I did.
what motivated you to do this? Why was this such an important give back to the community of music?
Yeah, well, people were sitting around doing nothing, and a lot of the musos in my local area, were doing nothing, yeah, we just thought we'll get, Greg and I thought we'll get something together. Um, the venue was okay with it, but we had a lot of protocols that we had to do around the restrictions and cleanliness and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, yeah, we just put on a Sunday afternoon open mic type type of gig, but the open mic included a full band as well. So it gave people the opportunity to get up and play and have a good time. And then it actually grew quite well because there was a lot of people starting to come out because they didn't want to be stuck at home anymore. So it gave us some entertainment, and that's what it was about, keeping people's sanity.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to a young artist? You know, they're knocking on your door, Christine, how do I get into the music industry? What advice would you share with them?
Um, learn from your existing musicians. Watch lots of videos, watch what they do, understand, Google, understand where you need to be and where you need to put your music, to get recognized. Find yourself a promoter in different countries. Um, definitely don't restrict yourself to your own country. Get out there everywhere because who knows? Somebody might just pick it up and go, "You're not bad, eh? We'll do something with you," you know. And it's just not, don't restrict yourself to your own country. And I think that's really, really key.
And Christine, what is something that you can share with us where your fans and people out there might be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, learn about me. As I said, I'm a hairdresser of 30 years, and then I changed my career, but totally overnight. Oh, I suppose I've shared that I play pub rock as well, so that's probably not surprising now.
We'll take it pub rock. If you want to hear Christine do some pub rock, get over to Google and social media and find out where she's playing next.
Exactly, exactly. I've got 3 gigs at the end of the year, which we're doing some pretty cool pub rock stuff. So yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
And Christine,
yeah.
what's something that scares you?
Something that scares me. Oh,
You can't say Australian spiders. Everyone is afraid of them.
I was just gonna say spiders. I don't like snakes. I can cope with. I have no issue with snakes. We have, and I've even got pictures on my Facebook page of me, snakes around my neck and whatever. I have no issue with snakes. It's redback spiders, that's it. Or big huntsmen. Yeah, no.
And and Christine, if someone gave you a magic wand and said, you know, you can fix something or give something to the world tomorrow, what would it be?
Oh, do I say world peace? Um,
You can, 100%, yeah.
absolutely. Oh, after today, I don't know. I'm a bit saddened by what happened in Atlanta today, actually. But if I could fix people's thoughts around doing harm to other people, and not just, just love each other, you, you don't need to hurt other people. If you've got a problem, fine, fix it yourself, but don't involve other people.
That's fair. And
Mm.
Christine, when you wake up in the morning, what are you putting in your cup there to start your day? For me, it's the wonderful sometimes a glass of wine to get the day going. I love it.
No, it's not. It's normally black coffee, but because I'm late at night, I'm having a wine. But yeah, I don't normally drink wine in the morning, so
Black coffee.
I'll be honest.
And I have time for one last question for you on Coffee with Chris. And thank you so much for your time today, Christine. It's what makes Christine Clifford smile?
Um, Watching other people enjoy what I do. Yeah, yeah. Just seeing people's faces and enjoying my music, and that's what makes me smile.
I love it. And as I said, that was the last question I had for you today on Coffee with Chris. Thank you again so much for your time for joining us. Everyone out there, remember to smile to inspire and have a fantastic day.